This Joe DiMaggio baseball card was the last of a storied career. It's one of the great missed opportunities of the modern hobby that neither of the two big manufacturers issued a Joe DiMaggio baseball card before the Yankee Clipper retired at the end of the 1951 season. DiMaggio, of course, was one of the many great players of the era who lost significant playing time due to World War II. He also played his best baseball in the 1930s when the United States was ravaged by the Great Depression and paper production was curtailed. As a result, DiMaggio's career was not chronicled in cardboard to the same extent as other immortals of the game like rival Ted Williams and teammate Mickey Mantle. Oh, DiMaggio did make one appearance in a major post-war set as card number 1 in the 1948 Leaf issue. But when Bowman came calling that same year, DiMaggio passed. He did the same in 1949, 1950, and 1951. And you think he would have agreed to appear in the playing card set by the startup Topps in 1951. Not the Regal Joe. By 1952, DiMaggio was gone, so even if he had been willing to sign on with Topps, it's debatable whether he would have had a card in the classic set. The old gum company was pretty stringent about their rules back then and generally didn't make cards for retired players, even if they had played the year before and even if they were legends. Just ask Sandy Koufax. And while DiMaggio appeared on a couple of late-career oddball issues, like the tiny R423 card in 1950, collectors were mostly left wanting. But while there was an intriguing story in the hobby that goes mostly untold, and it bestows on us Joe D's last two in-career cards. Get your popcorn, 'cause there's gonna be a show. For decades, veteran hobbyists have worked with the vague knowledge that there was a third major set in 1951 in addition to Topps and Bowman. Loaded with players from the New York teams, Yankees, Giants, Dodgers, the Burke Ross Hit Parade of Champions issue was distributed in two-card perforated panels for a total of 72 cards distributed across 4 series, at 2 1/16 by 2 1/2, and featured colorized images and cards resembling the previous year's 1950 Bowman set, though without the paintings. The next year, Hit Parade of Champions was back, this time sans the Burke-Ross identifier. Expanded to 2 by 3 inches and still sporting color images, the 1952 issue featured a clean front design with nothing but the player photo and a white border. Cardbacks showed the set name and basic player information, including 1951 stats. A quick glance would make longtime collectors think of other sets from that era, or perhaps the 1976 SSPC Pure set. As it turns out, a clean design was not all that SSPC and Burke-Ross had in common. The latter was issued without player authorization and eventually had to be pulled from circulation as a result. So long, Joe. And so it is that the unauthorized production of sports pasteboards nearly 70 years ago yielded the last in-career cards of Joe DiMaggio, as unrestrained by pesky lawsuits and regulations. Burke-Ross included DiMaggio in both 1951 and 1952. Not only did collectors get their mitts on the Clipper during his last season then, they were treated to one more reminder of his graceful, twisting swing in 1952, even when they knew he was gone. It must have been sweet and painful at the same time, especially for Yanks fans. Either way, the 1952 Burke-Ross popcorn issue pulled a coup that neither Bowman nor Topps could, the last contemporary Joe DiMaggio baseball card. Like our video? Then like our video and subscribe to our channel. waxpackgods.com